Hi everyone, Christina here. Welcome to another card video at my YouTube channel and blog. Today I'm going to be creating another DIY card with minimal supplies. All the supplies, or most all the supplies that you're going to need are on camera right now. I'm going to start out with some watercolor paper, and this watercolor paper is cut to 4 1/4 wide by 8 1/2 tall, and then I folded it in half. I then opened it up and put it down on my work surface, and I'm going to be applying kind of a frame of blue tape. This is blue painter's tape, which means it has a little bit less stickiness to it, so it will peel off my watercolor paper without any problems. And I'm just putting that all around the front of my card. This is going to give me a nice thick border around the area that I'll be adding some watercolor to. I wanted to mention that this watercolor paper is a very inexpensive watercolor paper. It's the Canson XL watercolor paper. It's available at places like Walmart, or even some grocery stores carry it. It's carried in a lot of different places now. But if you don't have access to watercolor paper, this could definitely be done on some thicker cardstock. I would just really recommend trying to get as thick a cardstock as possible. So I took another strip of that blue tape, and I used a ruler and an X-Acto knife to cut out some thinner strips. You could definitely do that with a pair of scissors, or just any way that you can get some thinner strips. And I'm going to put this in the center of the card in kind of like a crisscross pattern. It almost looks like a window. So now I'm going to prep some watercolor paints. These are Crayola washable watercolor paints. They're very inexpensive. I've been using these for quite some time, and I've still got lots of paint left in them. Starting out with the red shade, I'm going to tone that with a little bit of purple, just because this red is a little bit more of like an orangey tomatoey red, and things are going to kind of go in more of like a purple bluish tint on this card. So I'm just making it a little bit less tomatoey red. I want it to be a little more pinkish for this first color that I'm mixing up. And then I'm going to go ahead and just go right into the painting. I'm going to put down quite a bit of this red watercolor. The paintbrush I'm using today is the really cheap paintbrush that comes in the watercolor set. I'm not doing any really precise painting today, so this paintbrush will do just fine. Adding some purple paint straight from the palette, just in that bottom corner of that square. Those colors are going to kind of mix and fade into each other as this dries. So I have that purple, I'm adding some blue to it to make a blue-violet. And I'm also going to mix another shade of purple just on my palette so I can pull from that easily while I'm painting. So I'm going to take that purple and go straight onto the square in the lower left corner. And then I'll take that blue violet and bring in on the bottom. So I basically just want to make sure that I have a couple different colors, maybe even 3 different colors in each of these squares. Adding some more blue to that blue violet. And then I'm going to add just a tiny bit of blue to that purple so that I have a kind of a variation in color. I'm going to start with that first color on the top of this square, and then I'll add that blue at the bottom. For the final square up in the top corner, I'm actually going to bring in some more of those red tones. So I'm going to add more red to my palette over here, tone that down with some purple. I really want to make more of a red-violet shade to work with in this square. And I'll bring that over to my project and put that down on the upper portion of that square. Then I'm going to take that purple and go straight from the palette and add it in right there. Add a little more purple down here at the bottom, just trying to get those colors to relate to each other. If you have any areas that need a little bit more interest, if they're looking a little bit flat, you can come back in with just a wet paintbrush and kind of move things around a little bit. That's what I ended up doing on those 2 squares there. And then after you've done that, you can go ahead and just let it dry completely. We want this completely dry before we remove the tape, because if you try to remove the tape while it's still wet, it will actually tear your paper. So if you have a little spot of paint that's gone onto the white area, you can definitely fix that, especially if you're using a washable paint like this. Just get it wet with a clean brush and then dab that up with a paper towel, and it gets rid of any of that color. So I'm going to peel off my tape here, and this is the most satisfying part of doing masking like this, peeling it off and seeing that nice, sharp, clean edge of that color. So I'm going to peel up all of these tape pieces, And I'm going to be left with kind of a window image here. I'm not really using it as a window, but it sort of looks like that. So I'm going to use this gold paint pen from Pilot. It's actually a really, really awesome metallic looking paint pen. I'm going to draw a heart in this bottom right hand corner. And because this is a paint pen that puts down a nice opaque color, I'm going to be able to go over the lines of my heart and really smooth things out, and it's going to give a nice solid shape. So I'm filling that in with all of this gold paint. If you don't want to do gold, or if you want to just change things up, you could definitely do a heart with a black marker or even with a white pen. Went around the outside of the shape here with some lines, and I just overlapped them in the corners. And that basically finishes the card for today. Super simple and easy. I think you could change this up and use green tones and draw a shamrock for St. Patrick's Day or anything like that. Hope you guys enjoyed this first video in my DIY Valentine's mini-series. I'm going to have 2 more of these DIY Valentine's Day cards before Valentine's Day for 2017, so I hope you'll check those out. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.